When Sweden confirmed its decision to procure the Leopard 2A8 main battle tank, the announcement resonated far beyond Stockholm. It marked not only a modernization of Swedish armored forces but also a symbolic acceleration of Europe's new rearmament cycle. Across NATO's northern flank, countries are upgrading their fleets and doctrines to meet the demands of modern warfare. Yet amid this momentum, Finland stands at a strategic crossroads. Should it join the next-generation tank revolution, or should it focus on enhancing the proven systems it already operates? The answer will shape Finland's defense posture for decades to come. Finland's armored force is relatively small in number but formidable in capability and design philosophy. Around 200 Leopard 2A4 and 2A6 tanks form the backbone of the Finnish Army's heavy brigades. These are supported by CV-90 infantry fighting vehicles, Patria armored personnel carriers, and one of Europe's most deeply entrenched defensive doctrines. Unlike most NATO members, Finland has never relied on expeditionary or offensive armored warfare. Its strategy is rooted in geography and resilience, attritional battles, ambushes, and layered defense across forests, wetlands, and snow-covered terrain. Finnish tank crews are trained not for sweeping assaults across open plains but for fighting under conditions of isolation, concealment, and endurance. In this context, the Leopard 2A6 already fits Finland's needs well. It offers a balance between firepower, reliability, and maintainability, all within a weight class that, while heavy, remains manageable for Finland's infrastructure. The country's doctrine values sustainability over spectacle, readiness over rapid deployment. Yet as Europe moves toward the Leopard 2A8, a new question arises. Can Finland afford to remain one generation behind when its allies and neighbors adopt more advanced platforms? The Leopard 2A8, developed by Germany's Krauss-Maffei Wegmann and Rheinmetall, now operating jointly as KNDS, represents the most advanced iteration of the famous tank lineage. It incorporates a digital backbone architecture, improved sensors, and the Israeli Trophy active protection system, capable of detecting and intercepting incoming anti-tank missiles before they strike. The tank also features enhanced armor modules, advanced laser and thermal detection systems, and improved situational awareness for the crew. Its weight approaches 70 tons, reflecting its expanded survivability and networked capabilities. In open battlefields, where long-range munitions and drones dominate, these features provide a decisive edge. For nations such as Germany, Norway, or Sweden, whose forces must integrate into NATO's rapid reaction framework, the 2A8's qualities make perfect sense. It is designed for interoperability, coalition operations, and sustained high-intensity warfare. But Finland's operational environment is unique. The country's northern terrain is among the most challenging in Europe: narrow forest roads, fragile bridges, and soft, swampy ground limit heavy vehicle movement. Winter conditions further complicate logistics. A 70-ton tank could easily face mobility issues where lighter vehicles maintain an advantage. Even the Leopard 2A6 already tests the limits of rural infrastructure in remote regions. Adding weight and complexity may bring diminishing returns. The logistical and financial implications of acquiring an entirely new fleet are substantial. A single Leopard 2A8, with associated maintenance, training, and support infrastructure, costs upward of $15 million. Upgrading the current 2A6 fleet, by contrast, would likely cost between $4 and $6 million per tank. Given Finland's inventory of approximately 200 tanks, the difference amounts to billions of dollars. And while Finland's defense spending has increased significantly in recent years, much of that growth has already been allocated to major programs: the acquisition of F-35 fighters, long-range air defense systems, and the continued production of Patria AMV and CV-90 vehicles. A full-scale tank replacement program would require trade-offs that could weaken other branches of national defense. This reality makes modernization an attractive alternative. Germany and other NATO countries are developing upgrade kits for older Leopard 2 models, bringing them close to A8 standards. These kits include integration of the Trophy Active Protection System, next-generation digital fire control systems, and enhanced thermal imaging equipment. For Finland, such a program would preserve its existing logistical framework while providing substantial performance improvements. It would also strengthen domestic industry. Finnish defense companies such as Patria and Millog already maintain deep expertise in supporting the Leopard platform. A modernization program could be executed domestically, sustaining local jobs and ensuring a high degree of self-reliance. However, modernization carries its own limitations. An upgraded Leopard 2A6, no matter how advanced, cannot match the fully digital design and future scalability of the Leopard 2A8. By the mid-2030s, even a thoroughly modernized 2A6 may require another cycle of upgrades to stay relevant. Yet Finland has always been pragmatic in its defense planning. Its doctrine emphasizes readiness and endurance rather than constant technological overmatch. A hybrid approach, upgrading a portion of the fleet while retaining the rest in reserve, could balance cost, capability, and sustainability. Beyond economics and engineering lies a deeper political dimension. Finland's recent entry into NATO, alongside Sweden, has reshaped the strategic landscape of Northern Europe. Shared platforms and interoperable systems simplify logistics, training, and command structures within the alliance. Sweden's decision to adopt the Leopard 2A8 creates subtle but significant pressure on Finland to follow suit. If both countries operate identical tanks, they could form a combined Nordic armored force, capable of rapid deployment across the region, from the Baltic coast to the Arctic. This would greatly strengthen NATO's deterrence posture on its northern flank. Yet Finland has traditionally guarded its strategic autonomy. Its defense establishment tends to favor proven, domestic solutions over symbolic alignment. The Finnish military values industrial independence and the ability to sustain operations without relying heavily on external suppliers. Adopting the Leopard 2A8 might enhance unity with NATO, but it could also undermine Finland's self-sufficiency. Moreover, the country's defense culture prizes quiet efficiency over public displays of modernization. Incremental improvement and high readiness levels are seen as more credible forms of deterrence than major procurement headlines. The country's defense industry also plays a vital role in this equation. Patria, a cornerstone of Finnish defense manufacturing, has the capacity to participate in international production chains. A partnership with KNDS could see Finland assembling or maintaining Leopard 2A8 components locally, ensuring industrial benefits and knowledge transfer. Such agreements, however, are complex and time-consuming. Finnish defense policy is cautious by nature, focused on steady progress rather than rapid transformation. It prioritizes depth, sustainability, and the preservation of wartime autonomy over high-profile modernization campaigns. Looking forward, three broad strategic options seem to define Finland's possible path. The first is full adoption of the Leopard 2A8, signaling alignment with NATO's modern armored forces and demonstrating political commitment to collective defense. The second is a pragmatic modernization strategy, upgrading existing 2A6 tanks to a near A8 level and redirecting the savings toward other priorities, such as drone warfare, reconnaissance, and air defense. The third, more radical path would be to reduce reliance on heavy armor altogether, investing instead in agile mechanized infantry and precision systems that complement Finland's terrain-focused doctrine. Each scenario represents not only a military decision but a statement of identity. To adopt the Leopard 2A8 would declare Finland's intent to stand shoulder to shoulder with Europe's most advanced armored forces. To modernize existing platforms would affirm its traditional pragmatism and emphasis on self-reliance. To pivot toward lighter mechanized warfare would underscore its innovation and adaptability in the age of hybrid conflict. None of these options are wrong, they simply reflect different interpretations of what Finnish security means in the 21st century. If Finland does decide to procure the Leopard 2A8, it could trigger a broader regional transformation. A unified Nordic tank fleet, Sweden's 2A8S, Norway's K2S, Denmark's 2A7S, and a future Finnish contingent, would create a cohesive northern armored formation integrated under NATO logistics and training systems. Such a structure would greatly simplify maintenance, standardize ammunition, and enable joint operations across national boundaries. It would also send a powerful signal to Moscow that Northern Europe is not only politically united but militarily synchronized. If, on the other hand, Finland opts for a modernization route, the region would remain more diverse but also more flexible. Different platforms and doctrines could offer complementary strengths. Finland's defensive depth and terrain mastery, combined with Sweden's expeditionary capabilities and Norway's Arctic mobility, could provide NATO with a multi-layered deterrent structure. In this sense, diversity could be an asset rather than a liability. Ultimately, the debate over the Leopard 2A8 is not just about tanks, it is about strategic philosophy. Finland's defense policy has always been defined by endurance, preparedness, and autonomy. Buying the A8 might enhance solidarity and deterrent symbolism, but it risks compromising the careful balance between modernization and self-reliance. Upgrading the existing fleet, by contrast, would keep the industrial base active, preserve logistical familiarity, and maintain budgetary discipline. As the 2030s approach, a mixed solution appears the most realistic outcome. Finland will likely modernize a portion of its Leopard 2A6 fleet with A8 level systems, such as digital fire control, advanced optics, and active protection, while keeping most of its current tanks in service. This approach aligns with Finland's cautious pragmatism, staying modern enough to deter, but flexible enough to adapt. Should the security situation deteriorate, perhaps due to instability in the Arctic or renewed Russian militarization, Helsinki could escalate to a full A8 acquisition, possibly with domestic assembly through Patria. For now, patience may be Finland's greatest strategic weapon. In a world of constant technological races, deliberate restraint can signal confidence rather than weakness. The rush toward the Leopard 2A8 demonstrates how defense procurement often reflects politics as much as tactics. Finland's challenge is to preserve its unique strengths, discipline, resilience, and adaptability, while ensuring its armored forces remain credible in an increasingly networked battle space. Whether the next decade brings new Leopard 2A8s rolling off Finnish assembly lines or upgraded 2A6s patrolling the northern forests, one truth will remain unchanged. The Finnish army, shaped by its landscape and history, will continue to embody the same enduring virtues: calm preparation, silent determination, and the unwavering ability to fight and survive where few others would dare to go.